Ina is Gracelyn.
Hi, I'm good. Thank you, though. Hi, I'm Gracelyn Pifer from Christian Life Church. Today I'm presenting my short sermon called The Gospel versus the Gossip. I am using verses Colossians 3:8, Proverbs 10:18, Ephesians 4:29, Proverbs 10:19, Matthew 12:34, and Proverbs 26:20. Gossip. Gossip is something we all do, or, at least have done. Telling our best friend about this thing that girl or guy did that made us mad, or, just wanted to tell them about it, just to spill the tea, or maybe even being eager to hear about it. It's very normal to want to share this with people and be eager to hear about it. I mean, I'm guilty of this too. But we live in a society where it's normalized and honestly encouraged to talk bad about others. But what I've noticed is that a lot of us know, but don't realize, gossip is a sin. A direct command from God, never to slander. Colossians 3:8 says, "But now you must rid yourself of all such things as these: anger, rage, malice, slander, and filthy language from your lips." But if gossip truly is a sin and against God's commands, why is it that we still want to do it? There's two main reasons as to why we gossip. The first being that we may have hatred or jealousy towards this person. Proverbs 10:18 says, "Whoever conceals hatred with lying lips and spreads slander is a fool." Now listen, I'm not calling you a fool, but I am asking, is there hatred that you may have against this person? Maybe they did something in the past. Maybe they have something that you just can't grasp and now you're jealous, or you're insecure about it and now you feel the need to push them down to make yourself look and feel better. Is this you? A lot of us will think about that question and be like, no, that's not us, because no one wants to say yes to that question. But truly in your heart, is this you? Second reason as to why we gossip is because gossip is fun. Gossiping is an enjoyable pastime. It brings us pleasure, satisfaction. It's fun. It's a fun pastime. It says constantly throughout the Bible, gossip is going to be fun. Sin is going to be fun. But that pleasure and satisfaction is fleeting. It flees from us. And consequences come from sin. A lot of us have realized that. I've experienced it, y'all have experienced it, I'm sure. Whenever we sin, we get consequences. Why? Because it's serious. Gossip is a serious thing. And why shouldn't we gossip? Why is it so serious? Well, for starters, the Bible literally tells us not to. Ephesians 4:29 says, "Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building each other up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen." Gossip does not benefit anyone. It only causes trouble and hurt. Why is it that we desire to hurt the children of God? And like it was said earlier, the Bible tells us to rid ourselves of slander and filthy speaking. Let me give the definition of slander to you really quick, just that we're aware. Slander is the action of making a false spoken statement damaging to a person's reputation. Let's be real for a second. Most of the time what we're talking about, it's not even true. It's a straight up lie. And the Bible commands us never to lie. But even if the rumors are true, the Bible calls us to protect one another's reputations, not damage them. Proverbs 10:19 says, "A reputation is more valuable than costly perfume." Now, I don't know if you know how much costly perfume was worth back then, but today it equals up to about $20,000 to $60,000. And that's insane to me. It's crazy. But that only brings me to ask, why is it that we are trying to damage something that God has given so much value to? Doesn't he call us to love one another? Is talking about each other behind each other's backs really worth going against what God calls us to do? So friends, now that we've established why we gossip and why we shouldn't, let's take a look at what to do instead. Let's begin with Matthew 12:34, which says, "For the mouth speaks what the heart is filled with." Now because our mouth speaks what our hearts are filled with, let's take a look at what our hearts are consuming. Instead of always allowing ourselves to consume all those social media posts, all those gossiping things about this thing this girl or guy did, let it be that we are allowing ourselves to consume what is good and what's true. Let us separate ourselves from the people or the things that lead us to gossip. Let it be that we are only speaking God's truth and God's wisdom. Let's go back to Ephesians where it says, we should build each other up and speak only what is beneficial to the ones listening. Like I said before, gossip isn't beneficial whatsoever. So when we are talking to someone, let it not be that we are shaming anyone in any way, but that we are only speaking what God calls us to speak, which is truth, wisdom, speak glory to God, and speak what edifies one another.
That's good.
Gossip and rumors spread so fast. I'm sure a lot of us can relate to this. Something crazy happens at school or in church, And the next day, there are some insane rumors going on about it, like crazy. In Proverbs 26:20 it says, without wood, a fire goes out. Without gossip, a quarrel dies down. So when you're on the receiving end of gossip, let it be that you are not keeping it going. Let it be that you are shutting it down. Let it be that you are putting out the fire that is burning others. Protect one another. Now conclude, just because you're talking about others in secret doesn't mean God doesn't see it, doesn't mean God doesn't hear it. Every time we open our mouths, we are given an opportunity. How will we use that opportunity? For our own self-benefit, our own pleasure, or to speak what is good and true from God? Thank you.